Welcome back to the podcast. Sorry for the abrupt end to the last podcast. We had some technical difficulties, but that should be we should have figured that out by now.
I think so, yeah.
It should be figured out. So I'm sure neither of us remember what we were talking about
Oh,
when it
absolutely not.
unexpectedly ended.
Absolutely not. I think we tried, but
I
no
don't know what
chance.
we were talking about. And I
Um,
thought about asking you what we were talking about before we started recording
but you know
today,
I
and
would
then
not.
I was just like, well, it wasn't even that. It was more of just, what? Even if he knows, let's just address it and then just talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
'Cause
Which
it's a
so
podcast.
we were like chatting before all of this, and we started talking about pineapple wine, and I do want to talk about pineapple wine. This is how bad I want to talk about pineapple wine. I was like, shut the fuck up. We need to start recording because I want to talk about pineapple wine on the recording because I have thoughts, I have feelings, and I'm fucking ready. Also, I'm wearing yellow, so I feel like it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love pineapple wine. I'm so petty about my pineapple wine because somebody that I used to date, you know who I'm talking about, Voldemort, um, it was allergic to pineapples. So I now,
By the way, look,
anytime there's
I
pineapples,
hate
like,
to
ooh,
interrupt you, but look at your text message.
this is a lighter.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Continue.
The
Continue
other
anyway.
thing can be in my hand though.
No. Anyway, continue.
No, if there's pineapple wine, I will buy it. If it's just pineapple, I at this point will just order copious amounts of pineapple and just eat it, just because I can.
Okay.
So I love that you have pineapple wine, and that reminds me that I need to go to the store and get me some more pineapple wine.
If I had the money, I would.
Ugh. Yeah, I was drinking a mango drink yesterday, which is not the same thing, but in my
But
heart
we
it
like
is.
mango as well, so
Oh yeah. Oh, because you were also drinking mangoes yesterday. You just stuck a fruit or a
oh,
straw
I
in a
was.
mango, and you just
Yeah, that's what happened.
because that's definitely how that works.
Wait.
Uh, no, but yeah, we were talking about the pineapple, and then we were like, gotta record this. Gotta be done.
Wait.
Gotta be done.
Um, I honestly wish that I could remember what we were talking about the the other day, but I can't think of it for the life of me.
I
I'm
know,
sure
right?
if it's not that important, it's probably not that important if we will forgot
Watch it
about
be
what we're
Taylor
talking
Swift
about.
or something, and we watch it back, and we're like, oh my god.
Wait.
You're like,
Well,
oh Taylor Swift shit, and I'm like, lol.
I realize right now, and the comments are probably blowing up with this right now, but I could probably just look back on the video, but I don't want to do that. It's fine.
Wow, already slacking off. For shame, for shame.
But it's a podcast. It's supposed to be spontaneous, and your thoughts just go where you want them to go.
Yeah, yeah. But that is something that I like. I like the kind of chillness of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's the whole reason why I wanted to start a podcast in the first place, because I was like, just being able to sit and talk with my friends about life, like, come on. What's better than that?
Yeah, yeah.
Only thing that can make it better is probably a campfire on like a cool autumn night. But
Can
I
we
can't.
make a pact that next year we will like come up here specifically? I want to be in this exact same place in
Well,
one
yeah,
year, and I want us to like actually film it because I that would be iconic.
yeah.
Let's do that then. That means
Well,
that I have to fucking remember the site
depending on
number.
if we can actually record or not, because if we're just sitting outside, we probably can't record unless we have better equipment.
Oh yeah, but I feel like hopefully by then we'll have like kind of gotten better at all this and figured it out enough that
Yeah, that's
we can you know, be functioning
Actually,
adults.
actually, because as I was telling you, Olio, the mic, I was, remember I was talking about the mic and
Yeah,
how it's a cheap ass mic? Well, the mic is actually good um, quality. It's just the sound box that it's plugged into is the thing that needs to be upgraded.
yeah.
But I just don't have the money for that right now.
Because aren't we in a recession? I think we're in a recession. Also, I thought my cat was gonna jump, and I was about to get so excited, and I feel like you can see me go.
The only reason we're in a recession right now is because inflation keeps going up.
Yeah, that
So
depressing. Let's not talk about depressing things.
let's not talk about depressing shit.
We're already
Um,
both depressed enough.
so I mean, depending on when this comes out, because if I'm gonna be honest with my viewers,
Our
this
viewers, but
is
yeah.
be our viewers. Sorry. I'll get better with that. Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we are recording this on October 21st, 2023. Um,
Watch this not come out till like October 2025.
but that's what I'm saying because there's a lot of things that we are probably going to talk about that come out in the next week or two. Like, I know I mentioned 1989 Taylor's version on the last podcast, and that comes out
Because
literally in
1990,
October.
whatever that one is called, that's our touchstone. We always get back to it.
1990. Um, but it
1989.
literally comes out next Friday on the 27th. Um, which another thing I'm excited for that comes out that same day is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which supposedly it's not only coming out in theaters, but it's also coming out on like Pluto TV or Peacock TV, which I hope it does because I really want to see that.
I think we agreed that we're gonna watch it together. We're gonna like screen share or whatever.
Yeah, I think we did. Um, it always comes back to that. Well, it always comes back to 1989 right now. Um,
Then it'll be
when
whatever she's doing next, and then we'll
oh,
just.
it's Reputation TV next,
Watch
which
it not
has
be. See, I want her to throw us all for a loop and do like the original one just because I think that would be so funny.
right as I've told you before, Reputation is the album that got me into Taylor Swift,
Yeah, because
and
we definitely talked about that yesterday.
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but
I thought we did, but okay.
it's maybe I did because I remember constantly saying that I won't be able to stop talking about it when she
Oh yeah, and you were like, "Hey, heads up, this is gonna
announces it.
be a problematic moment for
It's gonna
me.
be problematic. It
You're
literally
gonna
is
get
gonna be
canceled for it.
problematic.
You're gonna get canceled
And
for it." Called it.
why would I get canceled for talking about an
Why
album that
not?
I like?
Listen,
I'm listening.
I don't know what I was gonna
I'm
say.
listening.
Never mind.
Okay, good. Um, do we want to talk about your experience at the hospital?
Oh,
We don't have to if you don't
yeah.
want to.
Let's just talk about the experience at the hospital. Let's not even get into the other thing because I physically cannot right now.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, that'll probably be episode 4. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, and the funny thing is, we're probably gonna end up doing this just about every day, like doing like the recording stuff. But we'll probably only release these once a week, or like once every 2 weeks. But anyways, so here's the thing. I was I live in an RV. I love my RV. It is literally one of my favorite things in the world. And my bedroom is like over here, and my bathroom, like I can see both of the doors from where I'm sitting currently because I'm kind of in the middle of it. And I was sitting on this couch, and I was walking to the bathroom. No, I had just taken a nap, so I was actually coming from the bedroom. That's why I mentioned the bedroom. Sorry. And I was walking, and I got to my kitchen table, and my leg just collapsed. It was like I thought like something really heavy had like hit the back of my leg, and I like looked, and I was like, oh, like that didn't feel great. But then, before I could even like look for anything, the excruciating pain set in. Um, and I gave birth to a whole human being, with no pain medication. And I was quiet the entire time, and it was not nearly as bad as what happened in my leg. I was like, surely I have broken this thing. Hold on. Okay. Surely I've broken this thing, and like this is problematic. I was expecting to see my bone sticking out the back of my leg where the pain was. Like, I was so convinced that that's what had happened. And instead of like calling 911 immediately like I should have done, I called my mom.
Which, by the way, her mom lives like, well, I live.
My mom lives 6 hours away from me. Okay? It would take her
Yeah, so
6
even
hours to get
farther.
to me. Yes. So I call my mom, and I'm like, listen, I don't even know what just happened, but there is such a pain in my leg that like I'm about to cry. And she was like, you didn't even cry whilst you were giving birth. And I was like, bitch, I know. So she was like, yes, call 911. So I called 911, and they took us to one hospital that has a reputation, and I now understand why it has the reputation that it has, for being a glorified like walk-in clinic at like CVS. Which, honestly, as someone who's been to one of those clinics, and they actually are fantastic, I actually really like them. They did a better job than this hospital did. Because I get back, the nurse, like, I will say everything was really fast. Like, everything, like, I was in and out within like an hour. Like, it was a really, but keep in mind that this happened over an hour. They get me back. They put me immediately in a room. Which back home in Raleigh, if you're like having a penetrating wound, you're sitting for like an hour before like they get to you. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a knife sticking out of your arm, you're probably waiting a little bit.
Yep.
But like, so they put me back into a room, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I guess I'm just gonna sit here for like 4+ hours, and I didn't grab a charger. That was stupid of me. Like, I'm just like, all right, I'll just watch TV or something. And then the nurse comes back, and I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting to see you so soon. And so she like gives me this paperwork to fill out, and she was like, all right, we'll be right back. And I was like, okay, expecting it to be, an hour or two, because right back in a hospital in Raleigh means we'll see you in a year. You know what I mean? And they came back literally 5 minutes later and were like, oh, so sorry for your wait. And I was like, what? But okay. And the doctor like comes in and sits down in the chair next to me. So I'm like, okay, he's pretty relaxed. He's pretty chill. This is cool, whatever. And he asked the nurse, as she's like getting my vitals, so what do you think it is? And she like says her diagnosis, and he goes, all right, cool, that's what it is. Yeah, that you're right. And he was like, all right. And he stood up out of his chair as he was saying, all right, like that dumbass SpongeBob meme. I think it was SpongeBob. All right, I'm gonna head out, something like that.
Yeah, it's SpongeBob. Yeah.
Stood up like that, and he goes, Google it, and then walks out of the room. I thought he was fucking joking, because Google it?
Like, he was telling you to Google it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
He literally told me to Google it. But I thought he was joking, because... What?
Yeah, why would you...
Like,
That's weird.
shouldn't you know about it if you're,
Yeah.
you
Your
know,
doctor?
telling me, like, that I had, like, okay. So I thought he was joking, and I literally just, like, continued filling out my paperwork and, like, continued on with my life. And, like, even the ambulance people, like, the EMTs were like, yeah, they're gonna x-ray you, they're not gonna find anything, like, yeah. So maybe this is just a really fucking common thing, and I've just never encountered it before. I don't know. But anyway, so I continue filling all that out. They take me x-ray. They come back a little bit later, and they're like, yeah, the x-ray didn't show anything. Like, your Achilles is fine, and the bone itself is fine. And I was like, cool. Kind of, like, we kind of all expected that at this point. And he was like, so did you Google it? And I was like, no. And he was like, okay. And he went and sat down, and he, like, started spelling out whatever this thing is, like, called, because it is a very strange word, which is why I don't remember it. And once he, like, I was like, oh, which one do you recommend me reading? Like, kind of trying to see if this is actually a joke, or if he's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's just what it is. I want you to know, like, what it was. Or, like, I don't know, somehow make that not a weird thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And he, like, picked an article for me to read, and I like, just read the general, like, but it was so great, because then he scrolls all the way down to the bottom of my screen. You know how it, like, gives you options for, like, what you could want to know about this thing, like, more in-depth questions about it. He just, like, oh, you'll want to know this, 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 and just, like, fills up that little thing with all of these things that, like, and then walked out of the room, and he was like, all right, have a great day. Let me get you some crutches. And the nurse came back, wrapped my leg in, like, not even, like, hospital stuff. Like,
Like athlete's tape.
yeah. And gets me a pair of crutches, and it's like, all right, have a great day. Sign here and here. Sign here, initial here. And I was like, all right, cool. You got to ride home? Which, thankfully, I did. Jesus. Sorry. I keep getting text, and my phone has the thing where it notifies you every 2 minutes, and I keep forgetting to just swipe it away. Anyways, so yeah, and thankfully I had called a coworker, and they were able to pick me up. But yeah, it was truly an unforgettable experience. And then a couple days later, I was continuing to, you know, try to rest and ice it and whatever. You know, whatever Google told me to do. The best part is they couldn't even give me any medication. That sent me. They were like, yeah, we recommend some Tylenol, but we can't give you any. And I was like, what the f*** do you mean you can't give me Tylenol? That, again, something I will truly never forget.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, so then
Doesn't make sense, but okay.
I then couldn't, like, I couldn't move my ankle or, like, my toes or anything, and I was like, that's concerning. And, like, I couldn't, like, bring my foot back, but I could, like, push it forward, and then it would just kind of, like, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's concerning. So I called the ambulance again, because I can't, it's my driving foot. I can't drive with it.
Is this the point where you called me?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I called you later, because, yeah. So then I went to the ambulance. I loved my ambulance team. They were fantastic. Like, they were such a vibe. And basically I get to they, like, get me immediately back into a room. It was, like, a similar process. Granted, it's, like, 8:30 in the morning. So, hopefully, it's the same process. And they did a different test this time to, like, test my blood flow and make sure that I didn't have a clot somewhere in my leg. And they were like, did you have to do this previously? And I was like, no. They were like, they didn't do this. Okay. And I was like, what do you mean, okay, in that tone of voice? What do you mean? I didn't say that, and that was just like in my head on a loop of like, what the fuck do you mean by that? So that, thankfully, I didn't have any blood clots, so that's, good news. And then they also took an x-ray, and they were like, yep, your Achilles is fine, your, like, bone is fine, like, have a great day. And that's when everything started to melt down. Because that's when I called you. I think I was, like, sobbing hysterically.
Yeah, you
Like, can you
both sobbing
please come
hysterically.
pick me up? Because I was, like, 30 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, you were
And
stuck in the
had
hospital.
no way home. I felt like Spider-Man. Get it? No way home.
Well, yep. Still haven't watched it. Want to, but still haven't watched
I love it. It's
it. I think it's on Disney Plus,
it
so
is. I think so. Yeah.
it is.
I'm pretty sure.
If it
Yeah.
is, then I'll watch it after this.
As you're editing this.
Yes.
As you're editing this and our intro videos. But yeah, so I don't know, I like that one, but that was a time. And then I had to call a like really really good family friend. Apparently a better family friend than you. I'm giving you shit. I'm giving you shit. But I had to call like a family friend to be like, because it was either the family friend or Voldemort. Okay, those were my options. All right.
Yeah.
I even called an ex that was like in the area, like because I was in Silva at the time. I called an ex that like lived that was like went to college at your college, and like at that was the funniest part because at that point they were in Raleigh, and I was like, of course you're in Raleigh. The one time that I would ever call you.
Well, that when I told you that I was gonna get off the phone and see what I can do, I had called one of my friends who still goes to Weston,
Oh,
forgetting that it was their fall break. So she
see,
was
I didn't
on her way.
even.
She was on her way to Charleston, South Carolina, and I was like, "When did you leave?" And she was like, "I left like 2 hours ago." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Like, yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
never mind then.
But literally, if the person who I ended up getting to take me home hadn't have answered, my mom, who is currently going through radiation, because my mom has cancer, and has to, like, every day on the specific hour, has to show up at the hospital to get radiation, was about to drive 6 hours to come get me, or I was going to have to call Voldemort. And because at this point I am sobbing uncontrollably, hysterically, sobbing like a blubbering idiot. So there is no way that I can call that monster who they're not even a monster, just in that moment I just know that A, they're not picking up the phone. B, if they do pick up the phone, they're like, fuck off, I am blocking you. Or if by some fucking miracle they listen and they hear me out for long enough for me to be like, I know you're going to say no to this, but like, can you please come pick me up and take me home? I will give you whatever the fuck you want. You can even take both of my Harry Styles cutouts. You can take my bow, my arrows. I do not give a shit. Please come pick me up and take me home. They still would have said no. There's no fucking chance. I could have offered them all the money in the world. I could have offered to in 8 weeks heist a bank for them and get all of that money and give it to them, and they would not do jack shit.
Yeah.
They would laugh the fuck about it and block and delete my number.
Yeah.
Also, if they ever see this, I'm going to get chewed the out. The first thing they are going to do is
Okay,
text me and chew me the out, and probably then call me several times and chew me the out.
Okay, and
I don't want to deal with that.
your exes, who cares?
Anyways,
Like, you're clearly not friends with this person, so like,
see, and the thing
who
is,
cares
if they
see this?
texted me and was like, can we try to be friends? I probably would say no. I would say no. Never mind. I would say no. I was like, because this is one of the only exes that I've ever had that I'm not friends with. And it's such a weird.
I'm not friends with all my exes.
I'm friends with most of my exes. Although your mother and I don't speak anymore that much, but you know. But like I still consider your mother a friend. You know what I mean? I just realized that sounds like I'm actually have slept with your mom.
Yeah,
That is friend. That is a friend joke. There's multiple layers to that.
No, it was fine with the false line, but then you took it a little too far with the second one to make it sound.
I didn't even think about it like that.
It sounded like a joke with the false line, and then you said the second line, and then it just didn't sound. It sounded real. It was like, okay,
yeah, it didn't. Yeah, and then I heard it, and I was like, we're making sure that we're clear about this. Anyways, so like it's very strange to me not to be friends with this particular person because it's like that's just such a foreign concept to me.
Yeah.
So like, cause I still like in my like Snapchat list of people that like I snap every day, but I don't like necessarily like talk to. Does that make sense? Like we're just snapping back and forth for snapping streak's sake.
Yeah.
Like that. Like even if it's just that, I still consider that a friend because I'm still like there's still communication happening. Engagement. Yeah, that's a better word.
Yeah.
So there's my
because for the longest time, that's the only way that we communicated.
Yeah.
We just did snap streaks. And then one day.
That's when I called you about the propane.
Oh, okay. So you called me about the.
Yeah, which was like
on the
4 days ago.
On the phone with me so that if I die, you can call the ambulance.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah,
that was like I just needed to change my tanks, but it turns out that I needed to call Corey. And I honestly probably should have just called Corey in the first place. Yeah, that was like 4 days ago. But I didn't fall and I didn't die, so I count that as a win. And now we're doing a podcast together, so you know. Because yeah, we ended up staying on the phone for like 4 to 8 hours, something like that. We stayed on the phone for a long time.
We always stay on the phone for a long time.
We do, and that's honestly why we were just like, let's just do a fucking podcast and just have fun with it. Because then we actually get to see each other, because we're filming this on like a side we can actually see each other. And it's nice. It's like FaceTime. And then other people can call us dumbasses in the comments, and it'll be great.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
It's funny because when we decided to make the podcast, I mean, I gave the internet like a little search for like how to best like make podcasts, and everything said everything said that like you need a specific topic for your podcast, and like you need to find your niche, which all niche is just talking about whatever has happened in our lives or whatever celebrities we want to talk about, or just whatever we want to talk about at the time.
And I think that doesn't mean that we won't ever have like themed podcasts, but I think that
a whole I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna call this one. I'm gonna thumbnail this one. Aspen Vocal Leg. I'm just gonna do that. Clickbait.
Oh my god, are we starting clickbait back as a thing?
Well, it kind of
Oof.
still is a thing.
Oh yeah, it
It's
really is.
just not as big as it used to be
And it's
because
not. Well, no, it's still as
people-
stupid as it used to be, though.
it is. Um, which I understand. People don't like clickbait, but at the same time, clickbait's kind of evolved to where there's well now it's just not blatant clickbait where it's a lie, but there's like it's
Yeah.
like half true, half lie.
Although there are
So
some people who still do the just like blatant ass lies, and I can't with
yeah,
that.
yeah. Um,
Don't you love how whenever somebody goes by, I go, "Ooh, who is that?"
yes, you like a your head is on a swivel.
I know. Oh my
That's
gosh.
why
No,
I'm in
it's
a
because
room with the door
ADHD.
closed and the window closed.
You're like, I'm in my cave. Don't
I'm
disturb
in my
me.
cage.
As opposed to I'm
um,
like, ooh, what's happening?
right.
But I think that's
No, but
something that
yeah,
we'll be able to get into in a future episode of why I'm a little bit like, ooh, what's happening?
a certain level of clickbait is okay for me, but if it's like a blatant lie, it's like I'm
Like,
not
and just to,
gonna
I don't know
watch.
if we might end up cutting this out, and if we do, that's totally fine. But just to prove that my leg is fucked up, look at that fucking bruise.
Oh my god, I'm definitely cutting that out.
Please
I'm
do.
cutting all this little section
Please.
out. Anyway,
No,
um,
no, just cut out what I did. Leave everything else. There's a line, guys. There's a line, and that was the line. I crossed the line.
you crossed the line. Um,
I've turned into. I don't know who I've turned into. Clickbait.
right. um.
Ow. Oh. And I would be sitting back in my chair, but if I go back any further, I just like become one with everything back there.
I become one with the tail.
I just become one with life.
But so like every website was telling me that we need to have a specific niche or a specific topic, which, like you said, there will probably be specific topics in each podcast that we talk about, or at least all, or at least we'll end up titling each podcast to a certain topic that we talk about.
Yeah.
Um, but
Ooh,
I was like, my niche, our niche is just talking about life. Like, I mean, so I, well, like I said in the last episode, I've kind of always wanted to do a podcast, but I never really actually started thinking about it again until maybe about a month ago. Um,
yeah.
not even a month ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, when I started watching a podcast on YouTube. It's called Brain Leak.
I was gonna say, are we gonna give free promotion?
Yes. Um, it's called Brain Leak, with Jacksepticeye and Ethan Nestor. Shout out to both of you. Um,
Because we're
I
definitely gonna give them viewers.
I freaking love Jacksepticeye.
He's fantastic. He really is.
I don't really watch Ethan unless he's in another video playing games with Markiplier and Jack,
Oof.
or the podcast.
I will
Um,
say I did love Una's Honest
but he's
so
a fun
much.
guy. Like, say that again. I'm
I
sorry.
said I freaking loved Una's Honest. I was like invested.
I actually haven't watched Unis Honest.
And you know you will never be able to, right?
What do you mean?
It was only for the year. Do you not know the premise of Una's
What?
Honest?
Well, I know what. Yeah, the videos are still on YouTube though. Like I
I
can
mean,
go
yeah, you
find
can
them.
find some of them, but like the idea was that I don't think they really wanted people to do that, but people did. I have this really like I'm okay with it because like it means that I can still watch them and I can still be like, oh, that was such a fun time. But I also feel like that's kind of everything that they said they didn't want of like they wanted it to just be gone and like you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
They wanted that like finale of it. Or at least that's my understanding of what they wanted. Obviously, it's not like I know them personally to be like, what did you guys want? Ugh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it was such like a it was such a cool idea of like basically and such a like art piece for life is what I kind of thought of it as, of like you start, you live it, you do everyday things and you try to make the best of every day, and then you die and then that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least for the people that know you, maybe not necessarily you, because
Yeah.
who knows what's after death, but you know what I mean? Like I really liked that like imagery.
No,
And
I know. I get
yeah,
what you mean.
I feel like I just went on a really long rant about that, but you know what I mean?
No, not really. I can go on a longer rant about some stuff. You also can too.
Oh yeah. I want us to at least each like once a year get one video where we just rant about what we want to rant about. Like nobody will watch those videos unless they are like dire hardcore fans of whatever we're talking about. But
Good.
I just want us to do that. And because I want the people to get to see our faces as the other person is talking about whatever the fuck they're talking about that we have
Yeah.
no interest in. And then like the other person to be like, "Oh my god," and then I don't know why I love that.
I mean, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Like I feel like we've had worse ideas. Not even I
We've
feel like
definitely had both
we've
over the years.
definitely acted on some of our worst ideas.
Would it be this one? I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. Time will tell.
I
Hopefully
guess I'll
not, though.
find out if this is a bad idea. But really, I don't know. It's a hobby, and I just want to make content for fun for me to look back on if in
When you're
20
old and
it's
gray
20
and you have dementia.
or like in 20 years if this flops then we just stop doing it. I can
Oh
still look
god,
back on
if we
it and be like,
flopped and we're still
"Hmm?"
doing it in 20 years.
No, I'm saying if we flopped and in 20 years I'll look back on this and
Oh.
be like, this is where we failed.
I was like, I don't know if this
No, because
flops, if we're gonna be doing this for 20 years just for the hell of it.
if we
Because I feel like we need to
flop,
move on
then
to other hobbies in that case.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to be. I mean, it would be nice to become YouTube famous, but at the same time, it's not a big thing for me. I just really want to put content out there. Um, and,
I just want to
you
like
know,
vibe
not,
and do my thing. But
yeah.
I feel like even if this does pop off, we're not doing this in 20 years. And if we are doing this in 20 years, I would like us to play this clip where I'm telling us that we're not going to be doing this in 20 years. And I want to have to watch it in 20 years when we're still doing this.
You know that if we pop off, we all probably going to be doing it still.
Well, then this will be a great moment for that episode. So, what is today's date? Today is October 21st. It is a Saturday. It is 11:31. So, I want us to film that exact. I want to have to watch that exact clip at this time.
I will
For that
literally
episode.
edit. I will literally edit this clip into a first episode where we'll like YouTube famous.
That too, but I do like.
You
I want to have to
being
like witness this
of you being like, no, we're not gonna get famous,
because the
and me
chances of
being
that
like,
are so
I don't know
slim.
what. True. But I mean, we can
But
still make
also,
content.
maybe we'll like overtake PewDiePie and Mr. Beast. Do not come for me, please. I'm
I
scared.
doubt it. I doubt it. As
If
much
we
as
do,
I
we
would,
have to put this into that episode.
as much as I would love to surpass PewDiePie and Mr.
No,
Beast.
they are gonna kill you. Everybody is going. They are going to track you down and kill you. I'm
For
scared
what?
of
Being more popular than PewDiePie?
no for saying that you think you can become more popular than
I
PewDiePie.
never said that I think I could. I said if we do.
I know, but people are still gonna track you down. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared. They scare me.
I'm
They
not
are like
saying we will. I'm
12-year-old
not saying we
children and
will
terrifying
surpass
me.
them. The likelihood of us actually surpassing them,
It's
even as YouTube gets
hilarious.
more popular each day, is so like there's no possible way.
Just yeah,
It's a
no.
hypothetical.
I know, but I'm scared of that hypothetical. Okay, that hypothetical fills me with
Hey,
anxiety.
if that hypothetical did come true, we could have anyone on this podcast. We've talked about having people on this podcast if we
Oh yeah,
become
we were like,
famous.
let's have Harry Styles and Taylor Swift on the podcast. I think at one point we were like, let's have Voldemort on the podcast, but like right after Taylor Swift comes on, they just have to
Oh,
pass
wait.
each other awkwardly,
Not
and we just
the
get to see the
actor,
panic.
not the actor who played Voldemort in Harry Potter.
If we,
Because
unless we are
you're
doing a
talking
Harry
about.
Potter, if we are doing a Harry Potter episode, then yes, I am talking about actual literal Voldemort. But if I am talking about Voldemort in any sense of the word, we are not talking about actual Voldemort. Okay, we are talking about. Oh, I need to shut my mouth. That is a nickname because everybody has nicknames for their exes, and this one is he who shall not be named, but we name him and we call him Voldemort
We
because
named
we've
him?
taken the power back.
Oh my god.
Deceased.
No, but seriously, even though I literally said at the beginning of the video, 1989 TV comes out next
That is our
Friday.
touchstone. We always end up
Fucking,
back at it.
I'm sorry. I am a diehard Taylor Swift fan, and
Yeah,
I
you see the funny
19.
thing is when we had our first conversation, you were like,
You
"Ooh,
can't
I listen to
say
Taylor Swift music. I don't like her that much." And now you're like,
you
"Oh my
can't
god, she's
say
my favorite person ever."
you can't say clap because of the poster behind you.
No, you wanna know why I can't say crap? I can't say crap
Mister.
because of that. I can't say crap because we're gonna get into it.
Oh my god.
Oh, never mind. We're not
And
because I don't know where that
I
shit
don't
went.
have it.
But you've
You
seen my
have
house. I
cardboard
can't say
cutouts
shit.
of Harry
Oh yeah, here.
Styles.
Let's
I
just
don't
spin
have
that around.
cardboard
Yeah, there we go.
cutouts
I've got two
of
of them. Yeah,
Taylor Swift.
yeah.
And I don't want cardboard cutouts of Taylor Swift.
Oh,
That's just weird to me.
ruined the vibe.
Is
Yeah, I
okay.
have two Harry Styles cutouts, and I plan on getting more eventually. If I ever become friends with Harry Styles, he's gonna look back on this and be like, "What the fuck?"
It's
Be
gonna
like,
be
a
like,
lot.
what's wrong with you?
But thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. Thankfully, Harry Styles and I will probably never meet. Oh my god, if we meet, I need to delete this episode.
No, if you meet, I'm going to play this portion of it back to him specifically.
No, because then you're gonna bring up the fact that I knew his blood type before I knew my own. And then you're gonna be like, and then when you found out that y'all had
Well,
the same blood type, you're like, oh my god, I can save him.
okay, now I don't have to because you just said it on the fucking internet.
Oh, well.
So, and
But again, we don't have to worry about this because Harry Styles is never gonna know the fuck that I exist.
mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful for that right in this moment.
Oh gosh,
I've
we'll never be.
I've been
We
to
are
concert
never.
concerts, but I never got to go to a One Direction concert. So if they ever do a reunion, I'm selling everything. At this point, I will sell my cat. And you know how much I fucking love my cat.
We'll never
To go to
be
that
able to
concert.
off the ground, are we?
Well, if we do, then
Not
I'm
after
using
this
all
podcast.
of the money to go to the Harry Styles concert. I will
No.
just extort the hell out of us. Yeah, that would be extortion, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyways. But I don't think we have to worry about that. Thank goodness. Anyways. Now that I
What
was
is wrong with this?
calmed down a little bit after my Harry Styles rant. Thank you for for coming to my TED Talk. We thought about calling this TED Talk for a second. We were like, LOL, wouldn't it be funny if we called this TED Talk? And we were like, we can't do that.
Yeah, we definitely can't do that.
Yeah. But I like our name.
Although I do like TED Talks.
Me
I
too.
I I think I've only done it twice so far. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, but I've gone through periods where all I watch is TED Talk for like weeks on end. Do I
Ooh,
do
I
I
feel like
remember
that's called
anything?
mania.
Do I remember anything from them? No. But I still watch them.
I'm crying. That's too much. I think
Yeah, I
I've
know.
maybe seen like a handful of TED Talks in my whole life. But because I feel like I go on TED Talks more so than I
So
like listen to
I
them.
actually let's take a little trip back to my high school days.
Jesus, those are dark days.
No, my middle school days were dog days. High school was okay. But
My life is just a dark day.
so it was in like so okay. I had a pretty good science. Actually, I had a great science teacher. Science teachers really. Um,
That's that
um,
private school learning for you.
exactly. Um, I also had. It's weird because I had good history. I had okay. I had anywhere from terrible to good history teachers, and I kid you not, my history classes were like the Defense Against the Dark Arts classes in Harry Potter. Every single year, I would have a different teacher, and that was because the other one left, or the other one's teaching something else now. Like I
That's
kid you not,
brilliant.
it was
I
so bad. Um,
love that
but
for
there
you, I
was
guess.
at one point. I mean, we would watch between like science and history, um, and even like all philosophy and religion classes. Um,
Mhm.
Also, it was a Christian private school, so I did have religion classes.
Oof.
Not Christian anymore though, so the good they did me. um.
I feel
Anyway,
like every time I do anything that's like not, I feel like I'm just like, and I went to church every Sunday, did the whole 9 yards.
um.
Although I didn't do Awana. Can you
So
imagine
I
this in Awana?
right. So we would constantly watch TED Talks between those like full classes. We would constantly watch TED Talk. But I specifically remember one of my history teachers, I think it was
That's my hot
junior
neighbor.
year. I'm
You better cut
editing
that
that
out.
out.
You better cut that out.
Um, you're making my life harder because I have to edit all the shit that whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, um, I had one teacher who, in my history teacher for junior year, literally did not teach us. Like
I love that.
we learned a whole history, a whole year's worth of junior level history from like TED Talks and John Green videos and stuff like that.
I love that. You know what they should have done? I well actually I don't- no because maybe they had this, but on BuzzFeed Shane Madej used to do these ruining history episodes. I think they were called if I remember correctly, and I hope that I'm remembering that right. If not,
Because
I don't know. But it's like he would get like
yes,
him, Ryan, and then like other various kind of BuzzFeed people would like kind of slide through that. Like at the time I don't think they were together, but his partner Sarah would be on there a lot. Um,
yeah.
but anyways, and he would like do this whole thing about the different like history things, and then he eventually did puppet history, which I love puppet history. Um, and I think there were a couple of other things that he did with like history that I really did. Y'all do any of those?
Um, no, I don't think we did any of those. For some reason, the only thing, for some reason, when you say the videos will like, I ruined history or whatever like
Let
that,
me make sure that that was the name of it.
I all I can think about is there's like I don't know if it's one TikTok account or a few, but there's a TikTok account that takes songs and like puts in different audios to like or like changes the pitch of how the vocals are so it ruins the song, and that's all I can think about because at the end of the video it's like now it's ruined.
Yeah, it was ruining history.
Yeah, we never did any of that.
Okay.
The Mongols.
I honestly, I love a lot of the different series that Shane and Ryan have done, but the history ones that Shane has done just hold this like little like special place in my heart. Like I
Yeah.
just love them so much because I grew up on like my dad, my great uncle were really into history, so they kind of cultivated very carefully my love for history. Um, and they always like pushed me to do my own research on it. But
Yeah.
that being said, like we never like watched like history shows. We would watch like we'd watch the American Girl doll movies. You know what I mean? Like they're not like history, but they're like enough along the lines of history that like then we can have an actual conversation about it and like
Yeah.
what was accurate, what wasn't. Um, like my dad would take me to the American Girl doll store all the time just so we could have those conversations about the different like dolls and like what was accurate. Like it was so great. But anyways, so I grew up with that, and especially with the American Girl dolls, that made me like it in a storytelling way that then you can have a conversation about like what is accurate later. But because of how Shane does his stuff, it is in a fun way that is telling a story, but it's also accurate, and that's what I love. And it's stuff that I wouldn't necessarily think to be interested in or think to want to learn about, but because I know that I love the way that he does it, I will watch anything that he puts forth, and I love that I'm learning stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a tangent, but yeah, I don't
Woo.
know what my other hot
um
neighbor.
I
You better cut that
stop.
out too. Sorry.
Um what am I gonna do with you?
Not what I was about to say.
um
Wait, hold on. I want to go get my granola.
okay.
I'm still listening.
I know you all.
Yeah, you
um
can't get rid of me that easy.
I do actually like watching something that's history related, but then researching the topic and finding out like what they left out, why they left it out, or like
If they're just
if it's
terrible people.
historically accurate or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I just realized that's probably so loud.
Probably.
Damn. Because this is my favorite
Oh Jesus.
granola. It's the honey and oats, and it's the only one that I can have because it doesn't have any nuts in it.
Uh,
Or at least the only one that I've found.
I'm not allergic to any food.
Must be nice.
Thank the Lord that I don't have an allergy.
I think we've talked about this before, but I probably wouldn't be allergic to anything if my parents hadn't have like tried to cure my ADHD or whatever their thought process was by like seeing what I could be potentially allergic to and taking that shit out of my diet for like 2 years and then slowly trying to add it back in.
Yeah, all that does is, yeah, no, that's not how ADHD works, but okay.
So,
Oh,
but I have
what?
recently, I've tried, not recently, it was like last year, I got to try sun butter for the first time.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
What is it? I've never actually
It's
now that
butter made
never
from
heard of
sunflower
it.
seeds. If I'm
Oh,
understanding it correctly. But it's because I love sunflower seeds so much, and I used to love peanut butter. But the
Mhm.
unfortunate thing is, it's really expensive and can be kind of hard to find. Like where I live, we have Ingles, which is kind of like a Harris Teeter equivalent, but it's much,
Yeah,
much bigger and more like holistic. I would say, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um,
it is.
so like we have those, and that's pretty much where I do most of my shopping. I love Ingles so much.
I
But
do
yeah,
too, and I wish I had them where I live, but all I have where I live is primarily Food Lion,
yeah.
Harris Teeter, Lowe's Foods, which I never shop at Lowe's Foods. Um,
Yeah,
hell, I barely shop at Lowe's.
I love the idea of you shopping at Lowe's. If either one of us are gonna shop at Lowe's, it's gonna be me, and it's probably going to be to build you something.
Oh yeah, Charlie definitely um shops more at Lowe's than I do. He's the handyman between the two of us.
Honey, we knew. We knew.
Shut up.
You're like barely taller than me. We knew you were not the handyman.
Hey,
For reference, I'm
hey,
4'11".
hey. Us short kings have to stick together.
It's true. Yeah.
And Paul, I mean, I'm barely taller than you. Excuse me. 4'11" versus 5'5".
I can
That's
look you
not
in the
barely.
eyes. You're not that
I
much
bet.
taller than me.
Then you're not 4'11", because I know for a fact that I'm 5'5".
Mr.
So
Drone.
if you can, I know
Like
that
I feel
sounds weird,
like okay,
but I know.
maybe it's because like I feel like with other people I have to look like crane my neck more, as opposed to with you I feel like I'm not craning my neck that much. So maybe that's what makes me.
Well, that's yeah, because looking at me versus a 6 foot tall person, you're gonna have to crane your neck more.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just around like 6 feet and up people. Maybe I'm just around a lot of hot people. Okay.
I know you can't view. Wow. Okay.
I wasn't even meaning it like that. I was
I know
literally just
you.
meaning like
I know you won't.
stereotypically people that are hot are over 6 feet.
No, you're correct. Honestly, probably gonna get canceled for that, but
We could
uh,
never air that. We have to cut that out. Like
we just keep
right before I say that, we gotta cut it, and then maybe have a little bit of us dying laughing, and then having the like we cannot ever let that be viewed. But we
Yeah.
cut this part out while we plan it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And when I say we, I do mean you.
Well, okay. I'm gonna say something controversial that
Oh
I may or
God.
may not edit out later.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might just be making more work for yourself, babes.
True. But I feel like we should be able to joke about stuff like that, especially people's heights, because it's not like I'm talking about a more sensitive topic, and
Well,
in this day and age, everything is so gloomy. We just need to be able to joke about stuff. And I know that there's certain lines that we can't cross, and I respect those lines. But I feel like someone's height is something we can joke about, unless they explicitly tell you they don't want you to joke about it. Then, like, obviously, I won't joke about it.
yeah. In that case, I'm on the same page. I feel like, but it should be once you know the person well enough that you feel like you can make that joke without ruining the
Yeah,
relationship.
which we
And
know
then
each other
obviously
well enough.
respect. Yeah,
Yeah, we know each other well enough that we can
we've been
joke
through
about
enough.
his height. Hell, we can joke about each other's sexualities and shit like that.
Oh, I
Like,
thought you were gonna say something else, and I was gonna be
it
like,
was not. I
"We're
was
gonna make
not gonna
this
say that.
so fun for
You,
us to edit."
you fucking pulv.
I mean, I say that like I'm not currently covered in hankies, which I forgot about. This one,
No
yeah.
one needs to see that, dude. No one needs to see that. No one needs to know. Another thing we are not talking about on the podcast. We are not talking about our sex lives on the podcast. Because one, YouTube will
We
take
talk
it down
about it enough.
immediately. YouTube will take it down immediately if we talk about anything like that. So that is one subject we do not need to talk about.
And you better edit that, what I just said, out.
Stop saying stuff so that I have to edit it out.
I know, but you wanted practice.
Yeah, but I can get practice enough. You're just making more work for me.
Fair enough.
If there's anyone watching the YouTube videos who wants to edit the videos for us,
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah, if you want to, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Either way, I mean,
No, you must want to edit our
you
videos.
must. If you can edit, you have to edit all videos. No, but that's why I'm learning how to edit.
I'll learn how to edit eventually. It hurt. My leg now affects
No,
my hands.
you do that all the time. Like when you talk and then you kind of just trail off. You just give me like a little sigh. Like you don't want to. Like you're so tired of talking, you don't want to finish your thought. And it's so funny.
Do we want to talk
Content.
about that thing? Well, then in that case, I got some content. Remember what we said about that
Content.
one laugh that I do?
No,
Do
but
that?
you can refresh my mind after the podcast.
You're like, because I know it was bad.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, but on that note, I think this is gonna end this podcast here.
You're like, I'm done. I'm like, one and done, never doing this again.
No.
You're like, and we hate each other.
No, we just ran out of time for today.
Yeah. That's true.
So I hope you enjoy this podcast. And I hope you come back for more because there will definitely be more. Thank you for watching and have a good
Have a great
day.
day.